Hello and welcome. Do I have something special for you today? This is the first scope sent to me by Adorama.com. So if you're not familiar with who or what Adorama is, I posted a little video unboxing the box I got from them, including this and a BSA Suite 17. Long story short, they reached out to me, said, we love your reviews, we want to help you make more reviews, and that's basically it. I've been wanting to get my hands on this for a long time. Actually, it's been quite requested here on the channel by several people, and for very good reason, or at least I think very good reason, which we'll touch on very soon. So what is this exactly? Well, it's definitely a Leupold, you can see that there, but this is a VX Freedom 1.5 to 4x20. This one being a 1-inch tube with the pig Plex. I opted for the pig Plex because I like the fact that it does have some sort of bullet drop compensation, which I like. Here's your model number. You can get this in a duplex. I do not know if you can get this illuminated. I don't believe so, however. For the price is going to be a compelling offer, or at least I hope it's going to be a compelling offer. This is about $250. The duplex version I think goes for as low as $200, so it all depends on what you're going to be looking for there. Designed, machined, assembled in the USA. Pretty sweet to see that Leupold, even on their very inexpensive options, are claiming that these are mostly, I would assume, made in the US, with maybe the exception of the glass. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, let's crack this open and see what we got. Ooh, yeah. Look at that. Packaging in here. Obviously, this box is designed to fit more than one type of scope. It's clearly about 40% larger than it probably needs to be, but that is fine by me. I'd rather have extra padding than too little. We'll set this off to the side. Make sure there's nothing in any of this. Nope. Nope. Leupold sticker. Whoop. Come on, focus. Okay, before everyone starts getting sick. Let's look at the owner's manual real quick. Safe to say that this is mostly generic. Put that out of the way. And let's take a look at this little guy. The first thing you might notice is the sheer size of this thing. It looks minuscule, and that's partly in thanks to due to the 1-inch tube as opposed to a 30mm tube. But the second thing you guys can't pick up, but I can, is the weight. This thing is featherweight. Ridiculously so. Leupold claims, I think it's 9.6 ounces on this, and holy hell does it feel like it's 9.6 ounces. This thing feels like there's nothing inside of it, like it's just a tube. Like you could just look through the tube and that would be it. But it is phenomenally light, and that's one of the key selling points to this. But we'll touch on that a little bit more later. One thing you're going to notice right off the bat, the rear ocular adjustment is locking, which I love. I wish more scopes would do this. So you got a lock ring right here, or a jam nut. You adjust this, get it just right, and then you lock this down. You just squeeze it, and that should be pretty good. Sorry for the focusing issues, I don't know what's going on. So I really like locking ocular adjustments. Typically, quick adjust eyepieces have a little bit of movement to them. I don't like it. Next, let's look at the Magnification Adjustment, which, if you look closely, has a small throw lever, and it is in the proper position. This is about 10 o'clock. We go from 1.5 to 4, and it goes from about the 10 o'clock position to about the 2 o'clock position, right on top where you're going to need it. If that's at 12 o'clock, that's just past 9 o'clock, it's about 8 o'clock. So it's a little bit over 90 degrees, about 110, 120 degrees of full sweep, which is extremely short when compared to other scopes in this category, which is about 180 degrees. So this is much faster to turn as a result. You're not going to be having to wrench your hand around it to get from minimum to maximum magnification. With the throw lever being right there, you're always going to know, boom, done. It's pretty easy to turn. I'm sure this will break in as time goes on. So right off the bat, this is fantastic. These two options right here, I wish more scope manufacturers would come up with this. Lock ocular housings and short throw magnification rings. From there, let's move over to the turrets and thus the caps. A little hard to see, but there's a little rubber gasket under there, which is going to help seal the cap and turret from moisture getting in. A little bit of pressure on that. Threads feel a little gritty. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the anodizing that's going to be the inside. A little hard to see, but it's not perfectly machined. I don't know if you could really pick up how that sounds, but it feels a little gritty. But again, these are just caps. What does it really matter? What really matters are these turrets, which, as you can see, are quick adjustable. You do not need any special tooling for them. I do not see a way of disengaging this to rotate it, which is one of the other reasons why I didn't like the Leupold Scout Scope I had many years ago. Even though, again, I'm a proprietor on setting it and forgetting it with LPVOs, it's still nice to have something that you can double check your zero with, or at least be able to easily index. So what I mean by that is they have this little ring here with a little slit. I'm not going to get a screwdriver in here and mar it up, but you're supposed to index that towards your zero, and then this way you know if you're making an adjustment, you know where your zero is. But the thing I don't like about that is you have to look from the top and try to line it up with the side. It's not the end of the world, but I think it could be done a little bit nicer. Again, made to a price point, so I'm sure it's a lot cheaper to engrave the top of the turrets as opposed to the side of the turrets, where it'd be a lot nicer just to have a couple of marks on the side and a little dimple right there, or even just be able to line it up with the slot. If this was $500, I would expect much nicer turrets out of it, but because it's $250, I will make do. But let's see how they sound, or at least let's hear how they sound. Yeah, that makes more sense. Well, that doesn't sound like much. You can clearly tell that it's indexing. You can feel it going into the detent, but it does feel gritty. It sounds gritty to my ear. Again, this might break in over time and get better, but this certainly leaves something to be desired. Let's check the windage. About the same. You're really going to have to pay attention when you're adjusting this to make sure it goes into position. Counting will definitely be good. Usually I like to go off of sound, audible clicks, and counting, but for this, you're really going to have to pay attention to the indexing because you can't really hear it. It just sounds kind of like a playing card in the back spoke of your BMX bicycle when you're a kid. There is a sound, but it's muffled to the point where you can't really specifically pick it up. The most important thing about this, in my opinion, is going to be the glass clarity, which Leupold is known for having extremely good glass. But let's take a look at the reticle real quick. Right off the bat, this thing has really thick posts at 3, 6, and 9, which I kind of like because it's going to help you get centered on the target really quickly. It's going to help pull your eye to the center of the reticle, and that's what you want in a scope that's designed to be used in a fast, quick environment. I really like this Plex. It is just coarse enough at the crosshair where you're not going to be losing it on smaller targets, and I think it's going to be more than finite enough to take a very precise shot at distance. This thing looks pretty damn good. There is no illumination, obviously, so there's no worry about brightness on that. It's a no-nonsense, very simple, easy to use LPVO. I'm curious to see how the 1.5 works at really close ranges. So that's going to be the thing I'm going to be testing the most. If this thing performs well at 1.5, I think this is going to be a phenomenal option if you're looking for a very small, lightweight, simple LPVO. So stay tuned for my full review on that coming soon. I'm going to try to get it as soon as possible. But this thing is pretty damn sweet so far. Thank you very much for watching. See you again next time.